My name is Kelly.
Kelly, and where do you live?
Kansas City, Missouri.
Okay. So can you tell me a little bit about how heart disease has touched your life?
Yeah, when I was 12 years old, my 46-year-old father unexpectedly passed away of a very sudden heart attack. He'd never had any sort of history of major health concerns, but the more we did digging, the more we realized that heart health problems actually ran fairly extensively in the family. Following that, life was pretty tough, and I actually, in college, developed an eating disorder and gained around 40 pounds, and grew up in Illinois, moved to Kansas City, said this was my fresh start, and started running. And it wasn't until I actually had already started losing weight that I realized this isn't just great for my mental health and my self-esteem, it's great for my long-term physical thriving, my physical health. So that would have been just over 3 years ago. I've lost all of the weight I gained during my battle with an eating disorder, and have actually competed in some awards for lifestyle change, have turned into an advocate for it on social media, like to share the story of redemption that comes with that, but also self-care. And my big sort of I've made it moment came this October when I completed my first half marathon. So
congratulations, that's very exciting. So in your dad's very short battle with heart disease, and kind of digging into that, did you gain the knowledge that that heart disease was a threat to women at that point, or did it take you a little while to?
When my father passed away, I didn't really connect the dots of how his heart attack would impact my health later on. When you're a kid, you don't stop and think about genetics. You don't think about whether or not you'll live a full lifespan. When I was in college, it started to hit home. Started looking into things like life insurance policies in case something happened, and I had all these student loans. And I think around the time I was 21 or 22, it really clicked that I'm around half the age that my dad was when he passed away. And that kind of helped inspire the fresh start when I moved to Kansas City. I wanted to get control of my mental health and my physical health. And I think, going through some difficulties in college really allowed me to sit back and process what it was like to lose my dad, and how I wouldn't ever wish that on my own future family, my future spouse, any kids I may have. I'm 25 now. I have a lot of life ahead of me, hopefully, and I want to do whatever I can to make the most of that, and that means taking care of myself. So now, I'm very careful to do regular health screenings. We just did in-office physicals at my employer, and I nailed it. Communicate a lot with my doctors about my family's history, and really just try to advocate for, among my close personal contacts, but also to the greater community, healthy lifestyle.
Absolutely, so. That's great. So, considering that heart disease kills more women than cancer, and kind of a staggering statistic that I saw this week, 7 times more women will die of heart disease than they will of breast cancer. Mm-hmm. So considering how vast that is, why do you think women don't talk about heart disease more?
I think that the story hasn't been shared as well. I think that there are a lot of really beautiful, heart-wrenching stories that have been shared about how cancer impacts families and lives, and stories of recovery and people going on, and there's a lot of money put into cancer awareness. The thing is, though, I think unfortunately society has come to think of heart attack as something that you're just at risk for as you get older. And I even remember my own grandmother telling me that one time, and was shocked because I was maybe 23 at the time. I had just hit the point where I'd been alive more years without my dad than I had had him. And I was just shocked that there was sort of this complacency that heart complications come with age, especially since I had just, really felt like I'd conquered this personal journey of losing all this weight and capturing a new healthy lifestyle. I think that's a big contributor. Additionally, there's just not enough people standing up and sharing their stories. And I think that seeing myself lead a new chapter in my life and feeling better physically, emotionally, just feeling more in control of my own well-being, I think that's awakened me to the fact that anyone can make positive changes to have a healthier heart, a healthier lifestyle, for themselves, for those they love, for the world around them. It's just about breaking past the complacency and knowing how to share that story in a way that mobilizes people.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. So the other questions that, excuse me, they had on here were to talk about the changes you've made, which I think you touched on really well. Is there anything you'd like to add about some of those changes that you made?
Yeah, I lost all my weight the old-fashioned way, diet and exercise, which I think is horribly underrated nowadays. Everyone's looking for a quick fix, and they don't realize that a lot of the quick fixes end up harming your health more than helping. So over the course of 2 years, I lost 40 pounds. I had a really slow start to running, but found some really great mentors. I think people underestimate the value community adds to your self-care. But I couldn't have done it without that community. And I think the fact that I was surrounded by positive resources and plenty of encouragement, people that knew I could do it, really helped. So finding those mentors, finding your tribe.
That's great. And so I know you talked about your advocacy through social media and through your close, kind of your inner circle. How else do you help to share this truth now? What else do you do to kind of empower women and let women know that heart disease is their number one killer?
Well, I did just become a Go Red for Women ambassador, which has already been a fantastic experience. I was in a Humana Lifestyle Change contest just a few months ago and didn't win, but I was a finalist, and it was one of the best experiences of my life. It was amazing to document and share my story in a very public venue and let people know that you can do this. Like, I came from rock bottom in college and ended up having this amazing career and amazing relationship with the love of my life, and I don't think any of this would have happened if I never would have gotten off the couch and just decided it's time to start taking care of me. And because of that, my doctor is very vocal about the fact that I should be here many years longer than I would have if I would have stayed on the current path I was on.
This is just my personal curiosity. Was there any point where, you were kind of on that couch and you were just kind of frank with yourself and you were just like, this crap has to stop? Like, was there like that one turning point, or was it just kind of a gradual, maybe I can do this?
My high school sweetheart of 6 years dumped me my junior year of college because he couldn't handle my mental health struggles. And I just realized that day that I needed to thrive. It was my turn to take care of myself. And, I also live with bipolar disorder. So the day that Tim and I's relationship ended, my friends said they saw me make a 180. And my recovery didn't truly begin until I moved to Kansas City. The fresh start was kind of like the jumping into ice water that I needed to shock myself into major changes. But my mind started to be made up that day, and the steps started to sort of plan themselves. So
that's great. So we have these kind of closing sound bites, and so I'll let you read them off of me, but kind of take a minute to get your thoughts together, and then you're going to look straight into camera. And I'm not in your picture, right?
No, you're good.
And that way we get like these really good, strong, fancy sound bites.
I work in PR.
I was going to say, you work in PR,
I'm Kelly. I go red for my brightest possible future. I want to uncover the truth about heart disease because I hope my family never has to experience what I have. The possibilities is why. I don't know if that's
Do you want to do it
grammatically.
again? Say the possibilities are why.
Yeah.
I think we can flip it, right? We can conjugate verbs here.
The possibilities are why.